It concerns the company's intentions of repositioning the huge stacker reclaimers under computer control without manning. Months of discussions have taken place between the unions and KCL, at times involving the State Industrial Commission and the new Hunter Coal Chain Council. But the Waterside Workers Federation remains adamant.
We've indicated that our opposition to unmanned items of equipment, both on the question of safety, most importantly on the question of safety, on these huge machines being able to be operated from a computer with no operator in attendance. And secondly, of course, and I suspect significantly as well, the fact that this is the first time we've been asked anywhere in this country to allow equipment normally operated by our members to operate unmanned.
And so the return to work today is by no means the end of the issue?
The return to work today is to enable it to go back before Commissioner Baird on Wednesday, and it's to enable further discussions to take place.
The stoppage has aggravated a bank-up of ships off Newcastle waiting to take on cargoes. The Hyundai Pacific will be first in at Kooragang to load 114,000 tonnes of Thorley steaming coal for Japan. This leaves another dozen vessels, but many of them are awaiting wheat cargoes. KCL says once coal is available, it'll take little time to make up its backlog of 3 vessels. The convent headquarters for the Sisters of Mercy in Singleton. Well-kept gardens surround the centre of this religious order. But this quiet setting is also the Hunter Valley Centre for a unique musical teaching program. At the helm is Sister Judith Glaister, the local Catholic junior school principal and an exponent of the Suzuki teaching method.
Because it's all memory work, I think that plays a big part in their learning in school and helps tremendously.
Each week she surrounds herself with budding musicians, some quite accomplished. So far, 170 children have participated in the program, many starting at a very young age. Tim, for example, will be 3 next January and already has the swing of it. Kate is still in preschool, but handles her pint-sized instrument like an expert.
I would like other Suzuki centres to be established around the Hunter Valley. I hope that the children have gained a love of music through it, and they will eventually keep on the music and perhaps join orchestras or just play for their own enjoyment.
Are you going to miss it here?
Oh, definitely. Yes. But well, maybe start up another centre somewhere some other time.
The children learn discipline through regular practice and their concentration skills are improved. So much so that children with learning difficulties can sometimes benefit greatly. Marita Patton is 13 and she's struggled with normal schoolwork all her life. She wears specially tinted lenses to combat her dyslexia. At first her coordination was so bad she couldn't hold the bow of the violin. Today she plays with confidence and poise, and her mother is full of praise.
If we didn't have the Suzuki movement in Singleton, this wouldn't have been possible. I just don't know where we would have gone to, but Marita has been able to just progress at her speed, which is something that is right through the repertoire of Suzuki. You go at your own speed and therefore you can accomplish something that way.
Next year, Sister Glaister moves from Singleton to Sydney to further her studies after 13 years in the town. There's no doubt that she'll be missed. The convent headquarters for the Sisters of Mercy in Singleton. Well-kept gardens surround the centre of this religious order. But this quiet setting is also the Hunter Valley Centre for a unique musical teaching program. At the helm is Sister Judith Glaister, the local Catholic junior school principal and an exponent of the Suzuki teaching method.
Because it's all memory work, I think that plays a big part in their learning in school and helps that tremendously.
Each week she surrounds herself with budding musicians, some quite accomplished. So far, 170 children have participated in the program, many starting at a very young age. Tim, for example, will be 3 next January and already has the swing of it. Kate is still in preschool, but handles her pint-sized instrument like an expert.
I would like other Suzuki centres to be established around the Hunter Valley. I hope that the children have gained a love of music through it, and they will eventually keep on the music and perhaps join orchestras or just play for their own enjoyment.
Are you going to miss it here?
Oh, definitely. Yes. But well, maybe start up another centre somewhere, some other time.
The children learn discipline through regular practice, and their concentration skills are improved. So much so that children with learning difficulties can sometimes benefit greatly. Marita Patton is 13, and she's struggled with normal schoolwork all her life. She wears specially tinted lenses to combat her dyslexia. At first, her coordination was so bad she couldn't hold the bow of the violin. Today, she plays with confidence and poise, and her mother is full of praise.
If we didn't have the Suzuki movement in Singleton, this wouldn't have been possible. You know, I just don't know where we would have gone to, but Marita has been able to just progress at her speed, which is something that is right through the repertoire of Suzuki. You go at your own speed, and therefore you can accomplish something that way, you know.
Next year, Sister Glaister moves from Singleton to Sydney to further her studies after 13 years in the town. There's no doubt that she'll be missed.
The Ball Performance Testing Station is housed in this impressive $200,000 Pig Palace complex, which opened at Tokau in June. Inside, its 103 inmates enjoy a climatically controlled environment, while they eat to their heart's content on a specially designed high-protein diet. All the time, their performance is closely monitored, their growth rate, feed conversion and carcass quality, which is done by measuring their back fat thickness by sonar at 13 points along their backs. Each month, around 24 young boars enter the test, the aim being to identify, over a 70-day period, those animals or breeding strains with superior growth and carcass characteristics, so they can be returned to the industry to help promote more efficient and consumer-orientated pig meat production. So far, with 2 batches having graduated, the results have more than vindicated the establishment of the test station, the only one of its type in the state. Maitland District Department of Agriculture Pig Officer Kevin Hickey says the first tests have shown a great difference in performance between different breeding strains, and more importantly, the producers in the industry are starting to recognise the value of the exercise.
The reaction from producers has been very good. We've now got 24 herds that are participating in the scheme, and the commercial breeders, the people who are producing pigs for the marketplace, are very interested in purchasing stock.
Gunninan has drawn on some of the most advanced railway technology in the world to meet State Rail Authority specifications for its new Tangara train. Tenders for the contract, which involves the construction of 450 railway cars, closed today. The Tangara is due to go into service on the Sydney suburban network in 1988 and will represent the state-of-the-art in rail technology. Gunninan's Chief General Manager, John Fitzgerald, estimates the contract will generate 3,000 jobs over 10 years. If the Gunninan tender is successful, over half these jobs will be in the Hunter Valley. However, the firm is not without competition.
There are two other very strong engineering companies in New South Wales who'd be looking for this contract. Com Engineering in Sydney and Collide Engineering, also based in Sydney.
Now, if your bid is not successful, what will this mean to the company?
It would have dramatic effects on the company. Current employment is on double-deck car production work is over 350 people. And our estimation, not only in Gunninan but the Hunter Valley, would be seriously affected.
So you're saying you badly need this one?
Not right now, but certainly by the time it's decided next year and looking for work into late 1986, 87, it's essential.
From experience in young
17-year-old
children.
Alexa Barnes is a Year 11 student at Lambton High School, but this year she extended her studies and took on the head position of a company that manufactured plant boxes. In conjunction with the Venture of the Year, the Young Achiever was also awarded, and at the national finals in Sydney this week, Alexa was named runner-up. Representing Australia, she'll travel to America in December to meet up with other young achievers. Alexa says that her involvement with her company at all was a rare insight into the business world.
First of all, the experience we got in lots of fields of production and sales, lots of benefits in the areas of other companies. We learned about not just our own company, but Port Waitara Coal Services, our sponsor company. There were so many benefits that you could really go on all day about the benefits.
Has your involvement with Young Achievers influenced your future career plans?
Well, originally I wanted to be an officer in the Federal Police Force, but now I've possibly changed my mind because what I have gained, the experience I've gained in Young Achievement. So possibly now I'd like to do a degree in business studies and possibly do a management course or something like that.
It's the ability to execute attack sequences like this that earned the 3.5-year-old Alsatian Sabre the title of Top RAAF Police Dog. Under the careful guidance of his handler, Corporal Kevin Kuzner, Sabre also won the Top Attack Dog and Top Obedience Dog categories, a clean sweep. Only 6 of the 18 police dogs kept at the base were eligible for the competition. This was determined by a monthly assessment over the past year. Only those animals that maintained an average score of 90% or better throughout the 12 months were eligible. Flight Sergeant Peter Lumsdale says each dog is a valuable member of the base's security team.
The dogs are employed here at Williamtown in nighttime patrol work on the flight line areas.
What does this involve?
This involves the animal patrolling the area with his handler, and he is trained to detect the presence of any intruders that might be trying to penetrate the base defences under the cover of darkness.
Every animal on the base was recruited locally. Most were unwanted pets. The RAAF assessed them, sent them for 12 months training at Toowoomba, and then the painstaking job of building up the kind of trust needed in a delicate operation like this is developed. Ascania Park is a strip of privately owned rainforest near Urimba on the Central Coast. Despite bad weather, a large crowd gathered today to see it officially opened by the Federal Minister for Tourism, John Brown, and the Minister for the Environment, Barry Cohen. Mr Cohen answered recent criticism about the government's handling of the Daintree rainforest dispute in North Queensland, hinting that a breakthrough in negotiations with the Queensland government may be forthcoming.
Well, at the moment it's a matter of a cabinet submission, and what we want to do, what I've suggested, is that we can try to preserve all of the rainforests of the whole of Australia, the little that's left now. I mean, the New South Wales government's done a wonderful job because their area is now all safe and now about to be nominated for World Heritage listing. Our problem really lies in Queensland and Tasmania, and we're having discussions at the moment with the Queensland government about how we can best jointly preserve those rainforests.
Mr. Cohen was among enthusiasts. The beauty of Australia's rainforests was there for all to see, perhaps at its best beneath a film of fine rain. The rainforest is, if nothing else, true to its name. But perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of the park is that until 50 years ago, it was heavily logged for timber. So the growth you see here today is the result of rejuvenation. The rainforest has had a chance to start growing back thanks to the efforts of its owner, Ed Manners. To him, Ascania, named after a larger-scale version of this reserve in Russia, is the realisation of a whimsical dream. The 3-kilometre walk is painstakingly dotted with labels identifying flora. Central Coast artist Charles Gosford has also reproduced a guide for the bird lovers. To Ed, Ascania is not just a nature walk, it's a work of art.
Dressing up for the day, if you know, you try and put on your best clothes for the day. And what we have done here in Ascania Park is put on nature's best clothes.
A new wage subsidy program designed by the federal government was launched throughout Australia today. JobStart is expected to assist 40,000 people to find work within the next 6 months. I'm Helen Hughes. I'll have a full report on the scheme in NBN's Hour of News tonight at 6.
The controversial proposal by the state government to move army facilities from Singleton to the Bathurst Orange area took another step today. Consultants commissioned by the state government have moved into town to find out what the people of Singleton themselves think, but already those consultants have run into problems. Full details in tonight's news at 6 o'clock.
Although there's been quite a lot of interest from the mature age section of the community in the nursing course, numbers of entrants for the course are well down all over the state. Acting head of the school, Faith Trent, says the majority of people do not realise that the shortage of nurses in New South Wales is so severe that the government is now advertising in the United Kingdom for 500 nurses to migrate to the state. Mrs Trent says there's a tremendous opportunity for mature age people, both male and female, in nursing.
We're keen to have mature age students as a college and in nursing because we believe they give a different perspective to the course. They interact with the younger students, and also we believe it gives an opportunity for people who may have missed out first time round when they were younger in their education to have another go at it.
The old police station and the original Public Works Department building next to it are being leased by developer Kurt Bacardi. While Mr Bacardi intends converting the PWD building into shops, offices and restaurants, the police station will become known as the Hunter Heritage Centre. A consortium of conservation groups, including the National Trust, will share the building. The head of the planning committee and architect is Brian Souters, who has redesigned the interior to include offices and meeting rooms for the various groups, and most importantly, several exhibition spaces.
It's a contact place between the conservation groups of Newcastle and the public, somewhere where people can come and know what the conservation movements are doing in this city.
The largest exhibition space will house a permanent display of Newcastle's penal history. The police station was built in the 1860s and its cells played an important part in that grim past. The whole project could cost as much as $200,000 to complete.
How's the fundraising going?
Well, it's been reasonably successful. We've got about 100,000, and that's from various government grants, from the Heritage Council of New South Wales, a National Estate grant, and a special grant from Mr Cohen, the Federal Minister for the Arts and Environment. We still need about another 100,000 to complete the project.
Year-old Ben Abotomy and 15-year-old Sheldon King arrived from the entrance yesterday, heading up the Pacific Highway to Raymond Terrace. Both keen cyclists, the boys have been in heavy training for the gruelling 1,000-kilometre trek for the past 2 months. They say that their efforts are supporting a worthy cause.
We're hoping to raise about $2,000 for Ethiopians, and we're going to send it on to Live Aid to be sent over there. That's the basic reason for the ride up there.
Where did the idea originate from?
Ben brought it up because he was going to do the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and you need to do some sort of a trek or explore a ride or something for a distance of about 300 kilometres. And so we thought, he asked me at school, and I thought, yeah, well, I'll go along because I've been riding for a while and I wanted to take up something like that. And so I just went along with him.